The Met Department gave a forecast of this rain season, which is going to be characterized by violent storms due to the changing climate patterns. I am Margaret Matibiri, and this is Topical Conversations. Today on the show, we are joined by Ms. Busisi Ndlovu, who is the Deputy Director at the Civil Protection Department.
Good afternoon, Margaret.
Thank you. So, ma'am, can you please tell us, like already we have had issues of violent storms already taking place in the country. Can you give us a general overview of everything that has been happening so far and the damage that has been experienced?
Yes, indeed, there has been, unfortunately, a lot of damage that has happened across all provinces in the country. Damage assessments are still ongoing, but records we have so far indicate that as many as 543 homesteads have been damaged or destroyed across the country. 19 people have lost their lives, 41 have been injured, 30 schools have been damaged, 23 households, their homes are completely destroyed, 6 health institutions have been destroyed, and 6 public buildings, government buildings, have been destroyed so far. But the assessments are still ongoing.
So which areas in particular have been most affected by the recent storms?
It has been largely the rural settings, but we do have urban settings as well being affected. In Manekal and in Mtari, for example, the Teachers' College there has been damaged and they've had to close. And other infrastructure in the town have been damaged. But generally speaking, the damage is in rural areas, rural schools mainly. But that has not spared urban settings.
What could be the contributing factor to the damage being experienced more in rural settings than in urban settings?
Maybe in urban settings, our buildings are under relatively strict building codes or bylaws, where every stage of construction is inspected and approved. While in rural settings, that is not as well organized as it is in urban settings. So part of it could be that the infrastructure is old. Part of it could be that the infrastructure is not meeting the minimum standards of construction. The other reason could be that the type of buildings in a particular area may not have taken into account the kind of risks that may happen, like strong winds, because buildings cannot be the same across the country, because in an area where the winds are strong and tend to be destructive, roofs, for example, should be designed in such a way that they are not easily blown away. So that could be part of the reason. The other reason being that maybe because of the drought, you find that most of our rural settings are almost bare of trees. So there is exposure to strong winds and violent storms. There is no protection from anything.
So, the Met Department has already issued out the warnings. How prepared are you as the Civil Protection Department to tackle those situations that are already playing out at the moment?
Yes, the forecast has been done. As you know, we start with the seasonal forecast at sub-regional level. Mm-hmm. We did that and attended to that. And we prepared as a sub-region together how we are going to deal with emergencies that arise this rainfall season. And then we had NACOF, which is the national forecast, where we again met and looked at how the season is likely to unfold. Following that, we then had meetings with provinces and districts to disseminate the information regarding the outlook of the season. We also had other reports like the hydrological report and other reports that would help districts and provinces plan to manage emergencies this season. So the information that we get from the forecast is used as a basis for planning.
How prepared are you? For instance, you have given an example of Mutare, which was recently affected.
Yes.
Have your team been deployed to these areas? What sort of assistance are they offering at this particular time? That's the type of preparedness that we would like to understand.
Preparedness maybe can be different from the ordinary person in the street, but for us, when we say preparedness, we are saying, do we have policies, do we have procedures in place to manage emergencies? Do we have education and awareness programs? Do we have our warehouses with some stock to manage the emergencies? Are our plans in place? For us, that is the preparedness that when we say preparedness, that's what we mean.
How capacitated are you, for lack of a better term, in terms of funds and expertise in dealing with these situations that would have been playing out?
In terms of expertise, we have the national and the provincial and district civil protection committees, and these are made up of government departments with various expertise like the hydrologists, like the health, like environmental people, engineers. So all those government people with their various expertise are the ones that are relied upon to manage any emergency. We don't have a separate independent structure to deal with emergencies. We use the existing government expertise that is available, and that's what is available to manage emergencies.
So if I could get this straight, you have systems that are already in place.
Yes,
that
we
have
do
been
have.
dealing with the situations.
Yes.
Since time immemorial.
Exactly.
But this particular season has become a special case in the event that you have just given us the statistics of the number of people that have died so far.
Yes.
I would like to believe that probably for a season that is just starting, a rainy season that is just starting, this is a first to experience the death tolls that we're experiencing at the moment.
That's
isn't
true.
Isn't there need for there to be additional support, additional labor in terms of human workforce, and additional funding to assist the department in handling cases of this nature?
Yes, probably additional funding. You are right, because we have actually asked for additional funding to manage emergencies this season. But what may help is for the general public to exercise caution, because while we have emergencies services, they cannot be everywhere all the time. So as citizens, we do have a responsibility to manage emergencies within our capabilities. That's why we have alerts through an SMS. We say exercise caution. So once you hear that there are going to be violent thunderstorms and your roof is loose or is not properly fitted, your windows are not closing properly, it's expected that you as a householder, you fix your doors, you fix your windows so that wind does not get in, because once the wind gets inside your house, it's easy for the roof to go up. So it's not about just the expertise from emergency service providers. It's also ordinary citizens taking actions to protect themselves and helping neighbors to protect themselves.
We had the Cyclone Idai disaster, which left a lot of people homeless and others dead, and others are yet to be found. We recently heard of the storm that hit Chimanimani. The shelters that they're living in were washed away by the rains. What measures have been put in place to protect these people who are already in an area that is prone to flooding?
Okay, for Cyclone Idai severely affected districts of Chipinge and Chimanimani, we have already conducted contingency planning at a localized level. So they should be ready to assist the affected at that local level. I'm aware that there are 200 or so families that are in tents. I've been advised that there's an effort to try and build cabins which are better than the tents in which they are in, and the materials have been purchased and they are being put together so that they can be in cabins before they go to their long-term homes which are going to be built.
How safe are these cabins? considering that we're already experiencing violent storms at the moment?
They will definitely be better than the tents in which they are in. That's what has been decided as the best option at the moment before their houses are built. And they will be sited on safe ground so that they're not easily washed away.
What has taken so long for these people to be put in permanent structures? Because it's already 8 months after the disaster here.
There have been efforts to try and find new sites. I think you may be aware how mountainous Chimanimani is. The idea is to make sure people remain in Chimanimani in their district and not move far away from the environment that they are used to. So there have been efforts to try and find suitable land that is not exposed to risks such as landslides or high flooding. So there have been efforts to find that. And there are also issues to think about: accessibility to water, accessibility to services, and other things like that. I believe the land has been found now in Chimanimani for people to be resettled there.
Which other areas have you deployed your members of staff to in preparation for the storms that were announced by the Met Department?
The civil protection system uses local government structure and the decentralized central government structure at local level. So there has not been fresh deployment, as it were. We are using the existing staff at the moment, but they can be backed up by national and provincial staff if there is need to do so.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ndlovu, for joining us on Topical Conversations today.
You're welcome.
We were talking to the Deputy Director in the Civil Protection Department, Ms. Ndlovu, who was shedding more light on what their department is doing in ensuring that the members of the public are taken care of during these trying times where the country is set to experience violent storms. She did highlight on issues on the cyclone Idai survivors who are having cabins set up for them to ensure that they are safe as the country goes through this. I am Margaret Matibiri, and this is Topical Conversations.